What's up, fight fans? This is Kirk DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford reacts to the Errol Spence fake tweet, and this is what he had to say. He said, "What did I miss? Somebody said what? Who said they did what?" He said, "Errol Spence, are you lying, saying you called me?" Crawford continued on Twitter, "Don't do that. That's a bad look when you lie to people." And of course, this tweet happened when Errol Spence or someone on Errol Spence's entourage or whatever said that he posted that talking all that on social media but won't answer the phone. Okay. And later it was deleted. Then we find out that it is or was a fake tweet. But of course, you know how that goes. Screenshots rule the world. If it wasn't for the invention of screenshots, a lot of things could be, people could have gotten away with stuff, but those good old screenshots and copying old posts, that'll get you each and every time, and let me counterpunch. Here's the problem. It was a fake tweet, okay? Was it a fake tweet because it wasn't never posted, or was his account hacked? Okay, because we didn't hear that. We didn't hear his account was hacked. We didn't hear that it was something that somebody did mistakenly, all right? We didn't hear anything about anything. We didn't hear Errol Spence explain, social media era, take your silence for weakness, hashtag no more hiccups, hashtag line them up. Okay, so that was what Errol Spence had to say. And I'm like, okay, social media era, and I'm like, listen. You got a guy calling you out, calling you hoe ass, calling you bitch ass. That ain't been deleted. You can find that anywhere. You can find that 2 or 3 places. You can find that on the social media of Terence Crawford. Okay? That's something that he said. So Errol Spence, someone posted or someone felt compelled enough to speak on the behalf of Errol Spence, pretending to be Errol Spence, and said what he said. "Oh, I called you." And then when I heard that, I'm like, okay, that doesn't even make sense right there, because Terence Crawford ain't the type of dude that don't take phone calls. Okay? That's not even Crawford's MO. So when I heard it, I'm like, okay, that's strange. But then it made sense when it was taken down. You know what I mean? So the question you ask yourself is, who put it up on Errol Spence's account? And then who took it down on Errol Spence's account? Okay, so obviously you're thinking, well, damn, somebody put it up, he had to put it down. Then, he hit you with the social media era, take your silence as weakness. No, we don't take your silence as weakness, because you've been talking shit for a long time to other people. So what are you really talking about? So you telling us you can't talk or you can't speak for yourself unless you drunk. Let's be real. A lot of those times he was talking about Bud ain't fought nobody, smoking mirrors, I'll crush him, line him up and call Al, tell Bob to call Al and all this, and 60-40 and 30-70 or whatever we give him, and this, that, and the other. Now you're saying, oh, take your silence for, media era, take your silence for weakness. I mean, yeah, because you're not normally silent until it comes to Bud Crawford. Now you don't have shit to say. So it's sad that somebody had to go on your behalf and do something that you supposed to did. But guess what? You didn't even do. That's sad. Okay, that means that either, again, a man fan or somebody on his entourage felt like, damn, Errol, you need to say something. Fuck it. I'm going to do it for you. You know what I mean? And make up some shit about I called you and why you ain't answering the phone. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to save the face of fans of Errol Spence, because people are starting to figure out about Errol. He don't want that fight with Terence Crawford. He don't. You can sit here and say that he does, but he don't. That 60-40 shit. How do you feel that you giving or offering 60-40 to somebody? Right? What guarantees that what makes him think that he's worth more than Terence Crawford at this point? Think about it. All Terence Crawford has to do is fight Keith Thurman, beat Keith Thurman. Now he's beat Shawn Porter, and he's beat a guy that you were chasing. For what reason? And, you really call that bullying, because Keith Thurman didn't want to fight him. But he stopped the dude that gave you hell. You dropped him. Terence Crawford stopped him. Bars. Okay? That was your hardest fight. That was Errol Spence's toughest fight right there. That fight alone. The Shawn Porter fight. That was his signature win. And Terence Crawford took him out. So what does that tell you? That tells you have no credibility. Who? Danny Garcia? I mean, Danny Garcia ain't beat an elite fighter since when? Amir Khan? Let's be real. He ain't done as much. He's never done anything at welterweight, really. Okay, but beat minor guys. So it ain't Danny Garcia. Now, I like Danny Garcia, but he's not that dude. He's not on that level. What else do you have? Mikey Garcia? I mean, come on, dude. Really? That's your claim to fame? That's what gives you a 60-40 split? Look, I'm telling you people about Errol Spence. Errol Spence, he never wanted that fight. I hope it happens, but I don't think it will. I think they're trying to wait out Terence Crawford. I think because, Terence Crawford is 34. You wait another year, he's 35. And that makes Errol Spence 32, because Terence Crawford has 3 years on Errol Spence. But Errol Spence is supposed to be in his prime now. So, but yeah, it's just sad, though, that someone had to come or hack and show up for Errol Spence when Errol Spence wouldn't show up for himself. Talking about, people take your silence for weakness. The fuck you silent for? Somebody called you a bitch ass and that hoe ass. And then I think he's mostly embarrassed because he really wanted Shawn Porter to beat Terence Crawford, and his problems would all went away. See, Errol Spence would have had no problems if it wasn't for Terence Crawford. He doesn't. Keith Thurman don't want to fight Errol Spence. Now Keith Thurman wants to intercept. If he can pull off an upset, that would be a good fight. I think that's the next fight that should happen. But people are worried about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. That fight won't happen. And if it does, I'll be corrected, but I don't feel it will happen. Because Errol Spence, and most importantly, Al Heyman, doesn't want it to happen. Because if he beats Errol Spence, what does Al Heyman really have left? Nobody. Think about it. Shawn Porter's been beat. Keith Thurman been beat. Deontay Wilder been beat. Who else? Who else does he really have to market that's black fighters that pushes the community? He doesn't have that one signature dude. But he has Errol Spence still. So why would he want Errol Spence to go with this pound for pound fighter? This banana peel. This plátano peel. Right? Why would he want to put his fighter in that situation? Okay, so no. At the end of the day, Errol Spence doesn't want that fight because his owner doesn't want him to. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Errol Spence and this Terence Crawford situation. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.